Right. So Nicholas Jackson finally made it to Bayern Munich on the deadline day of the summer transfer. Meanwhile, Raheem Sterling is still a Chelsea player. So that sums up how it went, how dramatic it was on the final day of the summer of 2025 transfer market. So I'm here to give you some rundown, especially the deals that happened on the final day, the interesting ones, the controversial ones as well, because it was full of drama throughout the summer, so that you yourself make your pick on what you think was the best transfer deal of the summer. So let's quickly start this. Once again, this is Sporty Frank, and if you've not subscribed, try as much as possible to do so. Turn on your notification bell, select all, so that you will be the first anytime we upload sports content on this channel. Some deals actually started on deadline day and finished on deadline day. Some deals started way back weeks ago, months ago, but were never finalized. Some deals also started a few days ago. Those deals also went through, and the clubs got their man, while the selling clubs also got their money for what they really wanted. So let's get into it. Kolo Muani was a bit of a shocking move from Paris Saint-Germain to Tottenham Hotspur, because he was rather on the verge of joining Juventus a few weeks ago, but it looks like Juventus were not ready to meet his price. So Tottenham looked sharp and they got their man from Paris Saint-Germain. Remember, Kolo Muani spent last season with Juventus and was promising, so everybody expected Juventus to try their best to get the man, but he finally ended up at Tottenham Hotspur. So it looks like, after all, it hasn't been a bad transfer window for Tottenham Hotspur. So Kolo Muani to Tottenham Hotspur was done on deadline day. Now, Alexander Isak, the most controversial one, the most talked about one, finally, he also made it to Liverpool and has been given the number 9 shirt at Liverpool. And you know what that means. After going almost a world, not training with a Newcastle side and trying his best to force a move away from Newcastle, with Newcastle also only waiting to sell at a right price. Finally, Isak also made it to Liverpool. So now Liverpool this summer signed Hugo Ekitike and Alexander Isak to beef up their attack. Remember, they also unfortunately lost Diogo Jota. They sold Darwin Núñez to Saudi Arabia. They've also sold Luis Diaz. So it was only right that they got those backups and those replacements to help the team defend their title in the Premier League and also fight for more titles in Europe and other competitions. Nicholas Jackson finally made it to Bayern Munich, also given the number 11 shirt. Remember, for Nicholas Jackson, it was a loan with option to buy in the beginning, but a few moments after Chelsea had agreed a deal to sign to sell Nicholas Jackson to Bayern Munich, first of all on loan and then an option to buy, Chelsea's other striker, Liam Delap, started the game against Fulham and got injured in the first 15 minutes and had to be subbed off. Immediately, Chelsea told Bayern Munich to hold on, that they need Nicholas Jackson back because their second striker has been injured. Now, Nicholas Jackson was not willing to come back to Chelsea. He thought he was done with Chelsea, but Chelsea thought it was a stopgap decision, so they needed Nicholas Jackson back. But what happened was that, after all, Chelsea again renegotiated and sold Nicholas Jackson. Again, a loan deal, a higher loan fee now, and then an obligation to buy, which will be dependent on some conditions as well. I am hearing that Nicholas Jackson will have to play 60 to 70 matches. If that is achieved, then it means they will be selling Nicholas Jackson on a permanent deal next summer. So that is it with Nicholas Jackson. So because of that, Chelsea got Maguire back from loan. Remember, he was also on loan to Sunderland, and so because of Liam Delap's injury, he was supposed to come back to Chelsea. So Piero Hincapié also joined Arsenal on the final day of the transfer window, and now Arsenal have a lot of options
Yes, in their center backs. So they have William Saliba, they have Gabriel Magalhaes, they have Christian Mosquera, and now they have signed Piero Hincapié. Ederson Morales also joined Fenerbahce in the last day of the transfer window from Manchester City. Remember, Manchester City have also signed Gianluigi Donnarumma from Paris Saint-Germain, and so now Manchester City would have Donnarumma and then James Trafford as well. So Ederson Morales will be leaving to Fenerbahce. Another Manchester City player who leaves is Ilkay Gundogan, who will also be joining Galatasaray after spending a lot of years at Manchester City. Another surprising deal that happened on the final day was Ben Chilwell, who joined Strasbourg on a 2-year deal. Remember, Ben Chilwell has been surplus to requirement at Chelsea, but has also struggled to get any club to sign him because of his wages. He's on about £200,000 a week wages, and because of that, a lot of clubs have struggled to agree personal terms with him. But Strasbourg has taken an audacious move and have signed Ben Chilwell, who will be playing in Europe this season at Strasbourg. Jadon Sancho, after spending the season on loan last season with Chelsea, and Chelsea trying to sign him, they couldn't strike an agreement, and so he was on the radar of a lot of clubs as well. Juventus, AS Roma, Napoli, Aston Villa. Finally, he moves to Aston Villa again on a loan deal where Aston Villa will cover 80% of his salary, while Manchester United take responsibility of the 20% salary. Some sources close to Manchester United are claiming that because of that 20% responsibility, they were unable to sign Emiliano Martinez, the goalkeeper from Aston Villa, because they wanted to sign that goalkeeper, but they had to settle for Lamens because they thought, or they couldn't get that financial muscle to make that deal, even though it was very, very close. So that is it from Manchester United, but at least they got good attackers, and they have signed a goalkeeper to compete with Onana and Bayende as well, but they couldn't get Emiliano Martinez. They've also been able to offload Antony, Rashford, Garnacho, and then Jadon Sancho finally. Like I mentioned, Antony has joined Real Betis after spending last season on loan with Real Betis and doing so well. He finally joins Real Betis, and you should see how they received him with a hero's welcome in Spain. So Antony has also joined Real Betis on a permanent deal with a heavy sell-on clause on the part of Manchester United. Harvey Elliott also joined Aston Villa on the final day of the transfer window. Remember, Florian Wirtz is there. They have Szoboszlai also at Liverpool. They have Cody Gakpo and a lot of attackers and midfielders. So it was only right that Harvey Elliott finds a way out of the club and joins a club where he could be playing a lot of matches. So he has joined Aston Villa, and we'll be hoping to get more playing time because the 2026 World Cup is just around the corner. Rasmus Højlund also joined Napoli yesterday on the final day of the transfer window. He has finally joined Napoli and is hoping to get more playing time. Remember, Joshua Zirkzee is more preferred compared to Rasmus Højlund at Manchester United. Manchester United have also brought in Benjamin Sesko, so it is difficult for Højlund to break into that team. So he has joined Napoli, and we'll be hoping to relaunch his career in Italy. Victor Boniface, after failing his medicals at AC Milan, he has joined Werder Bremen from Bayer Leverkusen in the Bundesliga. Remember, this player has been phenomenal for Bayer Leverkusen in the past 2 seasons, but because of an injury, an ACL injury that he had some time ago, AC Milan were not sure of his health. So they pulled out of the deal and did not sign him, even though they agreed personal terms and everything with parties involved. So now Victor Boniface joins Werder Bremen in the Bundesliga. Another Nigerian is Samu Chukwueze, who has joined Fulham from AC Milan. So that's some news for Nigerian football lovers. We've talked about the deals that some clubs did on the final day, the controversies and all of that surrounding all these deals. But let's also talk about the deals that they did not go through, deals that fell through, deals that were almost done, but in the last minute it didn't happen. And number one here is Mark Guéhi from Crystal Palace. This guy, 25 years of age, has 1 year left on his contract and was hoping to join Liverpool on the final day of the transfer window. The deal was agreed between both clubs. The player had agreed personal terms with Liverpool, but Crystal Palace told Liverpool to hold on until they have a replacement for Mark Guéhi. But unfortunately, they didn't get that replacement, and so the deal had to be called off. After medicals and everything, Crystal Palace said they were not going to sell their man because they were chasing Igor Julio from Brighton, but that didn't happen because they couldn't agree on a deal. And so Mark Guéhi stays at Liverpool with 1 year left on his contract. He will be playing his last season at Liverpool unless maybe they finally get a way out and extend his contract. Otherwise, he will be leaving for free next transfer window. Raheem Sterling is still a Chelsea player. He failed to secure a move to another club. His situation is just like Ben Chilwell, on very high wages, but he couldn't secure a move there, and he'll be staying at Chelsea. Chelsea has made it clear that his surplus requirements, they don't need him in the team, but once they have failed, he's still under contract. It's either they terminate his contract or maybe he finds a move away from maybe Europe, because other transfer windows could still be active at this period. The other name, Tyreek George, also from Chelsea. A deal was agreed for £22 million between Chelsea and Fulham, but it collapsed in the final stages. We do not know what happened, but we will try and get that out and tell you, our fans, once you keep staying here. Turn on your notifications and subscribe so that you get every update that we give you on this channel. Ademola Lookman, also from Atalanta to Inter Milan, did not work because Atalanta were asking for 50 million euros. Inter Milan were ready to pay 45 million euros, and Atalanta were insisting on the remaining 5 million, and because of that, a deal was not done. Bayern Munich came into the picture, but they also failed to secure a move for Ademola Lookman. So because of that, Ademola Lookman, despite showing his frustration and all of that in a letter on social media and all of that, he is still an Atalanta player unless he also moves away from Europe, and we are hearing that he could be joining Victor Osimhen, his compatriot, in Galatasaray. Emiliano Martinez, as we've already mentioned, that he is not moving from Aston Villa. He stayed at Aston Villa despite Manchester United coming very close to signing him. So these are the deals that went through and the ones that fell through. Tell me, what was your favorite transfer story? Did your club get what they want? Are you satisfied with the business your club made in this transfer window? Just tell us in the comment section. Once again, don't forget to subscribe, Sporty Frank, on all social media handles, and also give us a follow on other social media handles, as well as turning on the notification bell and selecting all, so that anytime a content is uploaded here on this channel, you will be one of the first to get that. For now, this is all we have. Stay tuned. Goodbye.